Hello, and welcome to the Getting Started with JRebel series. In this video, we will go through a full demonstration of the features and functionality of JRebel. To start off, we have a simple standalone application called the Hello JRebel application. Inside of there, we have two classes. We have a greeter class with a greet method inside of the system out call, and then we also have a Hello JRebel class which has a greet method as well. There's a system out call inside of there, and then the main method has a while loop that calls each greet every second. As I run this, we will see that JRebel starts up, it begins to log to the JRebel.log file, and then we see the welcome banner, followed by Hello JRebel and Hello Zero turnaround. Now, we have a counter associated with this to show that we don't skip any iterations, lose our place, or start or stop the application while our changes are being put into place. Let's start off by changing Hello Zero turnaround to say Hello ZT. And then just save the file. The class is instantly reloaded and the new version's in place. I can also go to the greeter class and do the same thing. We'll change Hello JRebel to say Hello Java. Save the file. The new version's immediately in place, and the counter is still going, no iterations skipped, we didn't lose our place at all, and we are still running. I can also do more than one file at a time. If I hit undo in both editors, I can just do save all, and that will instantly reload both classes, and we'll go back to the original text, but the counter is still going on the left-hand side. I'm going to stop this now, and we'll move on to the Spring web app. Now, this is the Spring Pet Clinic application, which is based on Spring MVC3, Hibernate, and JPA, and we are running this in Tomcat 7 inside of Eclipse. Now, this is the welcome.jsp, which is the root request mappers landing page. Let's open this up, and let's make some very simple changes. Here, we're going to change this find owner link to say find pet owner, and save the file. And I also want to change the welcome message, which is coming from that welcome key. So if I open up messages.properties, I can now change welcome to say welcome to the pet clinic. Save the file, and when I hit refresh in the browser, we're going to see welcome to the pet clinic and find pet owner inside. Now we have welcome to the pet clinic and find pet owner. So that was a JSP change showing that we can reload the messages.properties file. Actually, the Eclipse Tomcat connector handled the JSP in this instance. But if you're running a different IDE configuration, then we will handle the JSP for you. Now, let's go to the Add Owner form. We see that on the Add Owner form, if we try submitting it without any data, we see all the fields are actually required. But let's make this first name optional. As this is a pet clinic, maybe first names are not as relevant. So let us open up the validator for this form, the owner validator. And in the owner validator, the first name check is this first if block right here. Let's comment out this if block, save the file, and just refresh the browser. This is going to resubmit the form data against the existing form object with the new validator in place. We see that JRebel will reload the class owner validator, and that first name is now not required. But that was a very simple change. HotSwap may have been able to do that. Let's do some refactoring in a way that HotSwap cannot do. We have an address check and a city check right here. Let's take these and let's put them in their own method. Let's name this method address validation. And now there's a call to address validation where those methods used to be, where those if statements used to be. And now we have a new method defined later in the class, address validation. But when I hit refresh, we'll see a lot of stuff change in the console, but we won't see anything change in the browser. I want to give a visual indication that the new method is being called in the browser as well. And the way we will do this is we will make this key lookup fail and use the better backup text. Please enter an address. And then we're also going to change city as well. We'll put Y here. And we're actually going to go create the Y key in messages.properties. Please enter a city. And now when I hit refresh, we see please enter an address, please enter a city. So our new method is being called. In the console, we see that we reload the owner validator again, But because this was actually a schema change, we had to reload the add and edit owner forms as well, because those are the classes that use the validator. Then we see that the framework integration kicks in, and it says, based on what's in the JVM, we're going to say that you're using Spring, and that you're reloading classes that there are beans for, so we're going to reconfigure those beans to use the latest versions of the classes as well. And then at the very end, we get the new key with the messages.properties reload. Now, we're going to copy a new Java class into our project, and we're going to define a bean for that class, and we're going to make it so that this first name field gets pre-populated whenever you hit this form. Let's go back home first, and then let's import our new class. We're going to import the myJRebelBean.java. We're also going to go into the webinf and change the petclinicservlet.xml. In the very bottom, we have a bean defined for myJRebelBean, so we're going to uncomment this bean definition and save the file. We see that 0 turnaround is being injected into name. We can now go to the add owner form, and here we're going to add the import statement for our new class. We're going to do the Spring auto wiring, and then inside of the setup form method, we're going to call setFirstName on the owner object with mybean.getName. Save the file. So now we're going to go back to that form, and now we see that the add owner form has been changed, and the first name field now has 0 turnaround injected into it. In the console, we see that we reloaded the Spring Bean definitions inside of the servlet XML. We reloaded our class add owner form. We added our new bean, and then we also reconfigured the other beans so now they're aware of our new bean as well. We have another option though. We could also do this with an XML file. I'm going to take the webinf and import a new XML file into it. I'm going to import the mybean.xml. Inside of mybean.xml, we actually have that same bean defined, but with JRebel instead of 0 turnaround. If I go back to the servlet now, I can recomment out this bean because we don't want it anymore. Instead, we're going to use this import resource. I've now added the import resource, and I'm going to save the file, and I'm just going to hit refresh in the browser. Now we see JRebel in the first name field, and we also see that we once again reloaded Spring Bean definitions in servlet XML. But more importantly, we're also now monitoring Spring Bean definitions in mybean.xml, which means that we're letting you, on the fly, without restarting your application server or redeploying your application, extend and modify your Spring configuration file set to include new files. Now, we have one more change to make. We want to add a new link to this first page. So, if we open up the welcome.jsp again, we're now going to add a display all pets link to that first page. We'll uncomment this link and refresh the browser. Now we have display all pets. But it does not actually work because the /pets mapping does not exist yet. If we open up the clinic controller, we can add /pets. The /pets mapping is here. We're going to uncomment it and save the file. And now, if we hit refresh, we actually have a compilation error which caused a stack trace in our application. This is because the clinic interface does not have a getPets method yet. So let us open up the clinic. We're going to modify the interface, and we're going to add getPets. So now we're adding getPets, saving the file, and the controller now builds. The clinic builds, but we broke all 3 of the implementation packages. So let's start off with the JDBC version. Here we're going to scroll down to the implementation section and add getPets. Save the file. So now this one builds. The clinic is building. And now we want to go to the JDBC version, the Hibernate version. scroll down, and uncomment. Save this file. All of these annotations are meaningful, and we do understand them. And now we will do the same thing with the Entity Manager for JPA. And we're going to add get pets here as well. Uncomment, save the file. And now, when we hit refresh, we are going to recover from the stack trace, and the mapping is going to work. And it does. We are now looking for a pets.jsp inside of the JSP folder. We reloaded several classes, reconfigured a few beans, and in the JSP folder, we see the problem is that there is no pets.jsp. So we should rename pets2 to pets. And we can now hit refresh. And our new mapping is working. And our new JSP is in place. Now inside of pets, we see that we can treat this now like any other file in our project. And let's modify this and add a new birth date column. We'll save the file. We'll refresh the browser again. And now we have both columns in place. We were able to make all of these changes in 12 minutes. And we see that my license, in the last 134 days, I've saved myself almost 1,700 redeploys or restarts, and almost 70 hours. We find on average that the average developer actually wastes over 1 full work month every year waiting for redeploys and restarts. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed the video.